The American people have had it with years and decades of Clinton corruption and scandals. The Clintons are the sordid past. We will be the very bright and clean future.
Donald Trump going after the infidelities of Bill Clinton, making the former president's extramarital affairs a new line of attack against Hillary Clinton. But not everyone is convinced it's a winning strategy. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich saying Trump shouldn't go there.
When you run for president, everything is fair game. The question is whether it's the right thing to be doing to elect Donald Trump. What I was really struck by, and I just did a newsletter to go out this afternoon on what I described as Clinton's gutter campaign. She has a fair chance of winning if they can keep this campaign down in the gutter. If it's he said, she said, and it's a personality thing, she has a fair chance of winning. She has zero chance of winning if Trump can discipline himself and run this at a very high level.
Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee is a Donald Trump supporter. Thank you for joining us today. What do you think of what Newt Gingrich said there? If it stays in the gutter, she wins.
I think Newt Gingrich is exactly right. And everyone knows that Bill Clinton has his share of problems with personal relationships. So let's not make Hillary the victim here. And let's move on and talk about what has happened with the Clinton Foundation, what has happened with 33,000 emails, how they could leave the White House saying they're dead broke, and a few years later they're worth several $100 million. Melissa, that's what people want to know.
I think the point that he's trying to make, though, is the same one that you're making, that with the Clintons, it is scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after lie. And that he's saying, do you remember all of this? These were some of the scandals and the lies. Do you want to go back to that? That's an effective point, no?
That is a very effective point, because they have such a history and a legacy of changing the rules, bending the rules, working to suit themselves, living by a different standard and a different set of rules. They don't want the scrutiny that other people have. And see, today we should be spending our time talking about this administration transferring control of the internet over to the multi-stakeholder process that will eventually end up with the UN and the international telecommunications workers weighing in on our freedom of speech. And Melissa, we're not doing that today. We're talking about other things. These are important issues: national security, jobs and economic security. Those are strong suits for Donald Trump. Well, people won't change, and the Clintons are the status quo, and it is their version of the status quo.
You're a Donald Trump supporter, and I would bet this morning that you feel the frustration that a lot of Donald Trump supporters are feeling this morning, that he felt the need to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and tweet about an issue that should have been dead sometime between Monday and now, again tweeting about the Miss Universe. Does that frustrate you as a supporter of his?
I would say this woman should have revealed to Mr. Trump past indiscretions years ago, but then she should also have disclosed all of this to Hillary Clinton. And we should be away from this. Let's talk about national security and jobs and economic security, and get down to the issues that women are talking about. They're concerned about economic stability. They're concerned about their kids that are seniors in college and they're trying to interview for jobs, and there are very few job offerings out there in their chosen fields. That's what people want to talk about.
And also, you know, the message that he seems to win with, the idea that the system itself, whatever part of it you're looking at, is rigged against the regular person, and they represent a continuation of this corrupt system, while he would come in and fire everyone in his way. Why do you think he gets off track, though, and stops talking about that? What happens?
I don't know. And there are so many examples. You know, we've got the Benghazi example and Libya, and getting the truth there, trying to look at why things have happened the way they happened in Iran. And every day we find out a little bit more. What was Hillary Clinton's participation in the Iran deal? What did she know? Why is there this coziness? Why do we have a president who will not name our enemies? What was she trying to hide in the 33,000 emails? what was the relationship between Bill Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, Uranium One, Laureate, the Nigerian land deal, HRC, the Haiti Relief Corporation, the India success story with Ranbaxy, and the other drug companies with the HIV/AIDS that were watered down. Those are the things that are great lines of attack because they can't answer those questions, and what they're trying to do is deflect with these other issues.
No, it's true.
Don't even go there.
And let me ask you, because you're terrific at staying on message with what you want to say out here, and you could give him some advice on doing this. In the end here, as we come into the home stretch, when you talk to your colleagues in Washington, what are they saying about this election, and what do they think about what Donald Trump is doing and saying? What's the conversation like?
The conversation is they are so excited that the message of change and fighting the status quo and elitism is resonating with the American people. Even today, the LA Times poll, Trump is up 5 points, Melissa, and they want us to stay on that message. They want Mr. Trump to stay on that message. They want Mike Pence to stay on that message.
Yeah, and stay disciplined. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too.
20 past